There we go. Okay. For some reason, my emblem is being all jacked up.
I gotta figure out how to do that, like the title screens and all that stuff.
Like it worked out before on my main channel, but now it's just like it's all glitchy and stupid, and I gotta have like I need to spend like literally an entire day on this shit. Screw it.
Yeah.
Screw it. We're doing it live. That's what we're doing. We're doing it live. Hey,
What do I?
welcome everybody. Nobody sees you yet, Zach. Not yet. Put your fingers down. You look doofy. Only I can see you. Welcome to another live stream here on Angry Streams. Hopefully today I've ironed out the audio issues. That's right. I've learned, I've loved, I've laughed, and it wasn't just from a white woman's kitchen sign. I did it all on my own. Either way, today we're going to be talking about the 3M earplug lawsuit. It's almost over. People are getting paid. Myself and our guest today, veteran with the sign. Let's throw him in on here. Here he is. There's Zach. Veteran with the sign, everybody. Veteran with the sign. He's here.
What's up? What's up?
Gosh, you are just so strong. Zach, get a little bit more to the right side of your screen so the people can see you. I have us a little off center here, so forgive me.
Here, I can tilt this. What am I doing?
There you go.
Better?
Opposite way.
Are we doing it live?
We're in. We're
like,
in this.
I feel like Joe Buck, and I'm gonna be like, yeah, 1st and 10. The Bills are on the game. What do you think, Troy?
Troy.
Yeah.
Everybody says turn up the volume. All right.
I hate you all. I hate you all.
It is quiet. How quiet is it? Let's see.
I'm doing the best I can. Listen. Do I need to move this closer?
Maybe.
I don't know. I can bend it.
My God. Did I mute this? I fucking muted it. I'm an idiot. I can see it moving now. I did it to myself. I accidentally clicked it. I'm so stupid. I'm the dumbest man. Watch, everybody's going to say, we can hear you now. Can they hear me now? Yeah, it works. Oh my God. I'm so sorry I called you. I'm a dumb friend. and I appreciate you picking up. I can't tell you how stupid I am and how much I appreciate your friendship and your big brain. I love you, Eli. I feel like one of the idiots that just calls IT all the time, and they're like, "All right, did you plug in your headset? Okay, we'll plug it in and tell me if it's working."
Yeah, do you know it's called an ID10T code? Do you know that?
I'm so sorry. Go back to your loving family. I'm sorry I stole 1.5 minutes of your life away from you.
Bye, Eli.
All right, I love you, bud. See ya. Well, now that I know what the hell went happened, jeez Louise, we're freaking stupid. Okay, so I had such a great beginning. I had such an absolute banger beginning. It went out so well, except for the fact that I muted my freaking self because I'm a dunce. So let's try and start this again. Oh God. Right, make sure you write in the comments of this thing that, Angry Cops is an idiot and that he realizes he's muted at the whatever minute mark and then 30 seconds until he actually hear him. Welcome to another shit show that is Angry Streams. Your basically internet boomer who doesn't know how to work a gosh dang sound system or camera or the internet's here to talk to you about things that happen in the real world because I'm so technologically retarded. And today, I have a fantastic guest to talk to us about some of these things. And this guest is veteran with a sign, my good friend Zach Bell. Yay!
Thank you so much for being here. Long-time listener, long-time streamer with you. It's always an honor. I'm streaming to you on my new headset, on my new system, courtesy of Regiment Gaming, soft plug. But I really do like them, and they made this possible, so it's fun.
Awesome.
Largest veteran military community on Discord in America. Check them out. Boom.
Is that really what it is?
That's really what it is. Yeah.
I'll believe it. Well, one of the things that we're going to talk about today is the 3M.
How am I super quiet again?
I don't know. You're
Guys.
always quiet, dude. I can't even deal.
Listen.
I turned your shit up. Let's see. System.
I'm doing everything I can. I've got the best microphones in the business.
How about now?
All right, for real. How about now? Are we good?
I turned up the
Lima
system,
Charlie?
so hopefully you should be louder.
Hey, increase veteran volume. Shout out Eric Taylor. Hey, thanks, Eric Taylor. I really appreciate that. And my screen just went dark. That's not great. I'm here, dads. Oh, convo with me. Let's delve into the 100 million influencer deal. My vote was to give you to the monies. You know what? Shout out. I endorse that as well. Still low. Dude, just roll with your phone. You have better audio, believe it or not. I'm a long-time lurker, military grade mic. Zach, turn it up, make some noise. How do I do that? Dude, it's so close to my face, it's almost hitting it.
I need to have, I say it every time. I think like tomorrow or the day after, I'm just going to have some nerds that I know. I'm going to do a live stream, make it unlisted, and then just go through all the checks and just, that way we can stop. I'm literally a grandparent. If you just block out all of the extra buttons on the VCR remote that I don't need, I'll never hit them. Just set it for me, and I'll just go, okay, I click these 3 buttons and go. That's all I want. Yeah. That's all I want.
Is there a chat game remix? So I've had to have people like literally do this thing called TeamViewer where they remote in to my computer, and they've been setting it up for like a week just to do all this stuff.
See, like I'm looking at the Streamlabs desktop, and it says my mic is loud. Let me turn it down. Okay, so my mic is right about where yours is now.
Okay, it says stop using Discord for calls.
Fuck you, I'll do what I want. All right,
is his audio a separate OBS input?
Possibly. There we go. So I can control mine, but Discord is just its own amoeba.
Is there a way I could turn it up on my side, possibly?
I don't know.
User settings.
Daniel just said we're fantastic. We'll figure it out later. We'll fix it. Not gonna let the internet screw with my friend and me and our
If you're using
shenanigans.
Discord, check audio default. I don't. Uncle Ryan, this is audio separate OBS. Rich, you're fine. What about me? No, the audio issue is Discord. I think so too. I think it's a Discord issue as well.
I think it's a Discord
So-
issue too, because here I am with my microphone and I sound great and loud, and on
We
Discord,
sound great to each other.
you
yeah.
and I sound the exact same right now.
Yeah.
Like
yeah,
I could
yeah.
lower my mic to catch you like a little bit better and like fine tune myself to be louder or quieter, but you still sound fine.
Under audio or video settings, I can turn it up on my side. Let's see that. User settings. App. Voice and video. Input volume. Hello.
Keep going. Say words, Zach. Tell me about your day. You killed now you have no sound. Opposite. You just killed all your sound. Can you hear me? You can't hear me.
Hey, I can hear you
Okay,
now.
there you go.
Do I need to increase my output volume then?
Yes.
Okay, let me try this real quick.
So you went the opposite way. I don't know how you muted yourself.
I'm in settings.
All right, so now I'm too loud, so I just turned my mic down a little bit. Poop.
Hey, can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Is it? I boosted it up to one. It was 100%, so I boosted up my output to 115.
I'm still seeing your stuff is below mine. Like I'm looking at
Hello?
like the audio spikes, and if I'm hitting here, you're
Noise
just short of it.
suppression. AC, right click his name in your Discord and turn up his user volume.
I did. It's at 100% already.
You're both great. Stop.
We're
Loud
just-
and clear.
we're moving on.
Veteran without a clue.
We're moving on.
Hey, I didn't lie. I've never.
We're moving on.
Both. Here's the thing.
Tell me the thing. Let's actually talk about something. My
Let's talk.
God.
Dude, Zach, messing with his output is less likely to solve his than AC bumping. Okay. Discord settings, turn up your output volume. I'll do this one time. Stand by. All right, I'm set to 125 now. Can you hear me? We're going. Doesn't matter what you say. We're doing it. 3M, the boy got paid. Okay. First off,
I'm waiting for my check. My check's going to be getting here shortly. So
all sound. Okay. That helped a lot. Nothing changed. I
Yeah.
think all of you need better internet. Maybe you're the problem.
yeah, you know what? Maybe you guys just got old people hearing.
Yeah, so-
you hear that? That's you.
I don't like to brag, but I'm a part of a class action lawsuit, as is my good friend Rich.
Ooh, we
And-
did it. We made it. We made it. We all slipped and fell and accidentally ate tainted Subway meat sandwich. Subway sandwich meat.
Here's the thing. One, it's crazy that it took so long. Two, I have photos and memories burned into my brain. And of me having to put the little 3M
Yep.
thing on my gear, or like on a junk on a bunk, a gear inspection.
Mm-hmm.
You know, 'cause, I mean, that's literally all you do. All we would do is go to the field like every other day. And so I don't know why it took so long, but I'm glad it did. And so last night, I've been working on my website stuff, you know, like we talked about it, trying to get all my stuff optimized and everything.
Yeah.
I got an email and they're like, hey, dude, your payment's ready, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, all right, that's cool. And, you know, I already found out I was in like level whatever, $10,000 was my award. I kind of thought that was like after the lawyers took their fees and everything. I didn't know that was pre.
That's what I was expecting as well. I was like, oh, cool. The way that it seemed,
The way it was worded.
the way that it was worded, the way that I read
Yeah.
it from the different emails is that was you will be receiving $10,000, and that will be post everything. The end result is that you will have $10K cash in your hand because I believe because you and I were in like the same sort of level of injury, as in we both have military documented tinnitus. We were both issued those earplugs, which turns out didn't freaking work that well, which
No.
made sense to me because there were 2 earplugs on either side. One was yellow, one was green.
Well,
You could
yeah.
both shove them into your ear. And I'm like, how is one working more or less than the other one? They're connected with the same innards.
Dude, and it was the only thing was different was the die. I do remember them being like, "This is for vehicles. If you're in a vehicle, put this one in, and if you're shooting a gun, put this one in." I was like, "Dude, I'm not sorting this out in the middle of a gunfight. Like, I'm just like whatever."
Yeah.
And they didn't work. I remember putting them in the back of a helicopter, and it was louder in my ear, and I was like, "This is crap." So, really grateful. Blah blah blah. I go to fill out the stuff online, and it starts breaking down the price. And how long are we into this? Can I swear yet?
Yeah, you can swear. We're fine. We're like
How
15 minutes into it.
I was,
Fuck,
dude,
shit.
I was like, okay.
This
let's put
channel
the
isn't
payment method-
monetized, man. I get demonetized. My last video got taken down because I shit you not, four different sections of the video showed 5 seconds of the Olympics, 20 seconds overall. So it just got taken down. It's gone. It got like 1,000 views of the people that were there watching it, and then it's gone. So this entire channel is just for the hardcore fans and me to bullshit and have fun with everybody that's here. By the way, thank you, Daniel Morgan, for the fucking $50.
Yeah.
You're
shout out
insane.
Shout out to the chat, dude. Drop some USAs in the chat. Actually, drop 3M in the chat. Let's
Drop
bump
some-
up that SEO.
Drop some ear emojis in the chat. Let them know that 1, you can barely hear us, or 2, you got some of that 3M money. Little bit of both, right? We got audio issues. We got a whole bunch of issues. And you know what? It's all from 3M, baby.
3M. Drop the 3Ms in the chat.
I want to
dude.
see those
Drop 'em
ears.
in
I want
there.
to see those lobes.
Yeah, put them ears, put them lobes, put them, audio cones, man. So
Put them audio cones, man.
So I go to fill out the thing, and I'm looking at it, and I shared the literal screenshot today of the video I made, literally of the, and I asked my wife Christy, I was like, hey, I'm gonna share this. I hope you're okay with it, because she was, because I was like upstairs. She's like, come to bed, and I was like, hey, I just got the 3M thing. I need the code to our bank account so I could like log onto it.
Are you talking about
Think
you're
about
gonna the receipt that you got?
Yeah, the thing I
keep-
shared the image I sent you.
You keep talking about it. I'm gonna change up our screen so then I can pull
Yeah,
it up on the side of us. You keep
Yeah,
telling me
go ahead.
about it and breaking it down,
So-
and I'll start pulling it up.
So I was like getting the routing and the checking, so it goes straight to our checking account, because it's like you can Zelle, PayPal, they'll send you like a credit card or whatever, and I'm like, dude, I'm not doing that. I just want this one thing, and so I put it up, and then I look at it, and it's my net is $4,050, and I was like, what the fuck are we talking about? And so it breaks down the attorney fees and like all this other stuff. And I'm like, dude, you've got to be shitting me. It's a 60-40 split, not my way. When I know cases are hard and et cetera, blah, blah, blah. All the things it takes to
Is
be
it just in your
lawyer.
video, or did you?
It's right there.
Out
it's
of the
in
exact
video.
settlement from the pay.
Oh,
Down one more. There. So, yeah, that's the actual.
I'm trying to zoom in on it.
Yeah. So
payout thing I did last.
Shh, Zach, shh, you're screaming at me.
I'm not screaming.
I'm
I'm screaming at you on the video.
Yes.
Yeah. My bad, dog. Anyways, so look at that. So again, the way the emails are written, everything says, every communication piece is like, hey, guess what? Your award is 10,000, 15, 20,000, whatever they decide.
Yeah.
Whatever law firm you're with. And so I thought it was post. I thought it was post. You've done this. This is what you get now. But no, look. 10,000 minus 900 minus 20, and they just start hacking medical liens. Why do I have a medical lien? What are we talking about? Like,
So
common benefit assessment.
let's talk
So-
about let's talk about all the things that break this down, right? So this is, you've got $10,000 that's coming to you. Here's
Yes.
the money that's not coming to you. So we got $900 for a common benefit assessment. I don't know what the fuck that means, but we're assessing your benefits. Okay. Then you've got attorney's fees, right? So the people that are writing your name next to everybody else's. It's literally cut and paste because you and a million other people are doing the same thing. So it's cut and paste.
Yes.
Their job is cut and paste here, right? Then you've got attorney case costs. How is that not involved in attorney's fees? But okay, individual case expenses. Let me tell you, you didn't spend, I don't know how much you fucking charge an hour, but it must be about $1,500 an hour because I never spent more than an hour on the phone with any fucking buddy that called me. Administrative costs. You got I don't know what a QSF administration fee is, but it's $20. The only thing that sounds just about right here in this entire thing for me spending money on you. And then other lines and liens and holdbacks. The only thing fucking holding me back is this fucking law firm that's ripping us all off. And then you've got medical liens. Medical liens holdback, $500. What the fuck is a medical lien holdback? And how are you getting
a medical lien?
A lien usually means like a lease, or there is some sort of judgment upon you or a property or a car, and that when that is paid off, then that lien is removed from you. It's like a check mark on your credit, right?
Yes.
You owe somebody a certain amount of money. What the fuck do I owe you for? I've already paid $900 for a benefit analysis. I've already paid not only your attorney's fees, but case costs. How is there a medical lien on me? And if there's attorney case costs, what are administrative costs?
Here's the thing. I don't know what your experience was like. We'll get into that. I signed up for a thing because I can't remember who told me about it. Doesn't matter.
I did. But I'm pretty sure I did.
I'm pretty sure you did because I signed up for it. I pulled my document from va.gov, and then they're like, "Do you have any photos of whatever?" And I didn't have a photo, but I had the actual earplug case. And I was like, "Here's the earplug case."
Yes.
Which they're not in circulation anymore, so it's not like a crazy thing. And then that was it. That was it. So like again, I don't feel like this is Men of Honor. Like I don't feel like this is Tom Cruise like having to like, redo this kind of crazy case. It's just a bunch of people with tinnitus. How hard is that? I am grateful for the payout, whatever, and it's not free money. I was worried people would be like, "Oh, you're complaining about free money?" It's 100% not free money.
Bro, my ears randomly ring because this company sucks at what they did. Listen, here's the deal. I'll make this simple for all of us that grew up in like the 2000s. You remember when Firestone had like all of its tires just exploding on people?
Yes.
There was like a shit ton of Firestone tires that just boom, 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 boom. And their stock fucking dropped because for some reason there was a deficiency in like the rubber or the whatever it was. But either way, right? People got in car accidents. A lot of people got injured, unfortunately. A lot of cars got wrecked, right? Mm-hmm. Or at the very minimum, they needed a new tire or multiple tires because these tires gave out. Firestone made a product that even after testing, or if they didn't do any testing, failed. From zero of this was the consumer's fault, right?
Yeah.
All 100% on the manufacturer, and these mistakes happen. That is what it is, right?
Well, and the reality of it is 3M is one of the like biggest companies in the world. They're like salt. You might not know they're making it, but they're making it.
Yep.
Like everything in this wall behind me, they probably have a piece of.
I think they own DuPont, or DuPont owns them.
Yeah, I believe that's.
You want to know who put microplastics in your balls? This same company.
Yeah.
Not an exaggeration.
Here's the thing. This lawsuit to them is nothing. They could care less. They paid the money to never be sued again. But what happened was they saw an opportunity and they made a bid and they rushed a product. They didn't care. Like who cares? Like how much do you think they charged
They
for
wanted that Dick Cheney money, man.
I would die to know how much money they made just selling these earplugs.
To the government.
To the government forever. Like, we had to have them. That's the messed up thing. You had to have them. And that was just it. So, like, I was kind of taken back by it. I couldn't. And so, since I put up a little, like, green screen thing today, people have been messaging me, like, hey, dude, I got, like, 24,000. They took, like, 10. Or, like, it's just people losing that same, like, $6,000 to $10,000, basically, is the going rate that they're having to cough up to the law firms, depending on whoever they worked with. Because there was like one big law firm, and then they subcontracted out to other
To a whole bunch of other ones, yeah, because of the literally
the workload.
hundreds of thousands of people that were affected by this. You know what this seems like, Zach? You know what this seems like? It almost seems like it's a bigger issue than loan sharks or whatchamacallit sharks coming after veterans trying to get their benefits, doesn't it? Interesting how the VFW is silent about veterans getting fucking 2/3 of tinnitus hearing damage money taken away from them from law firms that are just blood sucking them with fucking common benefit assessment. How is my assessment and my attorney case costs different?
That's a great point.
I wish you put the firm on this on here. I really wish you put the firm on here.
Yeah, here's the thing. They never called me, and the VFW has yet to apologize to me. I think I've got a better chance of becoming the commander-in-chief of the VFW than I do for having them to ever be like, we messed up.
Well, I mean, the seat might open. They just got rid of their old president because, you know.
I
don't know what to say. I'm sorry to people that I fucked up with. I didn't know what's going on in my organization. I'm only in charge of it, but how am I supposed to know? Hey, this was a misunderstanding, huh? This was a misunderstanding. By the way, that's how the old president of the VFW sounded.
It is how he sounded.
That was with the Port Authority. How am I supposed to know that these guys are shitting all over your balls in the middle of the internet? I don't know any of these things, man. Wait, call off the dogs, huh? What are we doing? We're friends, huh?
He did say the one time we talked, he's like, your friend, angry cops. Whoa. Like, that's how he described you.
Well, you know, he's from Jersey and I'm from New York. And I may not be from the city proper, but I've got the fucking New York attitude of the second biggest city. And everybody hates New York City. Not because they're New York City, but because they're fucking arrogant about shitty fucking living conditions. Oh, hey, from New York City. Like, it's the atmosphere. It's like, oh, your fucking streets smelling like shit and sewer water all the time? Is that it?
The worst.
Every building being like 130 years old and like falling in on itself, but you've got to keep it because it's the aesthetic and the city won't let us tear it down.
Yeah.
Dude.
Hey, chat, drop an angry Italian in the chat. Go ahead, drop an angry Italian.
Yeah, give me the minga. Give me the minga frickin' hand. Give me the minga. Minga de faccia.
You know what's great about New York is, like, I thought it was fake, was the mayor being like, we're going to clean up New York City, and he rolled out a trash can. And he's like, look at what we got. Like, it's the craziest thing I've ever seen.
Bro, they're putting the Minga hands in the chat right now. I love it.
Hey, drop them in the chat.
Fafangulo. Hey,
Go to the side. Yeah. You shine. Go get your shine box.
Good fucking shine box.
Yeah, I don't know. If only there was a veterans organization that would look out for us the way they claim to do other things.
You know what would be incredible? I mean, I'm just saying this. I'm thinking here.
Go ahead.
What if the moment that the 3M earplug lawsuit came out, what if, let's say and I'm throwing everybody under the bus here, and I shouldn't say I'm throwing them under the bus, but I'm saying what a missed opportunity. What if the amount of money, the lawyers, the firms that you could then subcontract under, what if the VFW or the American Legion or other like large veteran organizations like that have the money to back up, a large firm to then sub firms out? What if they did it and then made sure that veterans got like 80% of the payout? Like after everything, hey, listen, you get 10 grand. Guess what? We're only going to take out 20% of the money that you get, and that's it. And that's what we're going to use to pay ourselves. That's what we're going to use to pay the lawyers' fees. And if there's anything left over for the paying of ourselves, like that's going to go into the organization that's already assisting veterans. And veterans get to keep their money. It's almost like it was a missed opportunity for these people to go, well, what if we just took care of our own with our own legal system, our own representatives for veterans, instead of letting, 32.54% get kicked out the door prior, right, from the original sum.
Touching it.
Prior,
I don't get any piece of it. I get no involvement with it. There was not an option. I mean, again, all I did was I filled out one thing online. I submitted my va.gov letter and a photo of the earplugs.
You want to know how I know that the medical liens and the administrative costs are horseshit? You want to know how I know that they're horseshit, Zach?
How?
Because they end very cleanly on a dollar amount. It's $20. It's not 1958.
Yep, right.
It's not even the 9% of the cost benefit of the common benefit assessment is like horseshit. Like, what? You had somebody create a check the box system where were you injured? Do you have documentation? If you clicked yes to any of those things, please provide the documentation. And then they go through it. Like, I feel like that's a part of the case. That should be the case costs. But either way, I know that medical liens is horseshit because they're like, oh, $500 for the medical lien. Medical lien for what?
How much do you think they had to pay out?
What was the total loss from 3M?
How much do you think they had to pay out?
Let's keep it simple and for math, and I'll say $3 billion, and that means that most likely the attorneys get to keep 1.6, 1.7, 1.8 billion.
I don't know what the attorneys get to, but according to them, so they had to do, they're a publicly traded company. They had to do a press release to their investors. This is from their website. Under the terms of the settlement announced in August 2023, 3M has agreed to pay a total of $6 billion to resolve the litigation over the time period of 2023 to 2029, including the option to pay $1 billion of the total in 3M stock or cash upon the satisfaction of the 98% participation level.
So let's just use yours as the standard, right? This is the average. This is what they're doing. Out of 10 grand, with the exception of $50.48, they kept 60% of your funds. So 60% of $6 billion is $4 billion. So the lawyers get $4 billion, and the veterans who can't fucking hear, you and I who have tinnitus, who randomly here just go like ding, like, is that the TV or is that me? Every fucking week. Dude, like every week. I don't know. I want to say every day because sometimes I don't notice it and it just goes over me. But like at least once a week, I'm going, is that me or is that something else? And then I look.
It's always at the worst time when you're like meeting someone new and then you got to look at them and be like, don't make tinnitus face because this is tinnitus face.
Mine's always when I'm just sitting in like my house, like, and it's dead quiet. And I'll be sitting there like writing, like I'll be like researching or reading or writing a sketch for like one of the videos. And then I'll just hear, and I'm like, is a truck backing up? Is that me?
Yeah.
And then I'm like, and then it'll like fade in and out. I'm like, I think that's me. So, dude, I hate lawyers. I hate lawyers.
So
I hate them.
I found a new press release, March 26, 2024. They announced as of the final registration date for the Combat Arms Earplug Settlement Agreement, more than 99% of the claimants are participating in the settlement. So that means they have to maximize all their cash output. 99% of people participate. $6 billion, and I got $4 fucking grand.
Hey, Zach.
I thought six.
Zach, these people really, sincerely mean it when they say thank you for your service because they cashed out on our fucking service more than we did.
We're just a sponge, you know. It just wring them out. Just like this is why people become like crazy politician people online. right? Like this is how you become like quickly radicalized and tweeting crazy things because like you go to war, you get blown up a lot. You have constant ringing in your ears, which by the way, that's just the easiest part. The worst part will be when I'm 50 and I have the hearing of a 90-year-old and like we have like stuff drilled into the back of our head with bone conductors so we can live semi-normal lives. Okay, like that's just going to happen. But 6 billion fucking dollars for what? They they set up a bunch of Facebook ads. That's really what they did. Set up a bunch of Facebook ads and like SEO. I mean, you both know that it's not that complicated. And then what? They just took our VA letters and like photos and just like
that's it.
I mean,
all they needed, the only thing that they really needed paperwork wise, besides you stating who you are, like, you know, a photo of your driver's license, and is the letter that you get from the VA stating that you're 50% disability, and then breaking down like, oh, 10% is for tinnitus. And that just shows, oh, hey, so you were deployed, like a DD-214 maybe, so showing that you were deployed to an area of operations that you served during the time that the earplugs went out, that you have tinnitus. And then I don't even think that you needed to prove that you had the 3M earplugs because everybody during that time period was just issued them.
Yeah. It says that 3M didn't actually make the earplugs. It was from a company called AEARO. AEARO. They acquired that company in 2008. It sold these products from 1999 until 2015. The product offered protection from high-level impulse noises such as gunfire while allowing the users to hear lower-level sounds like speech. None of that is true.
No.
That didn't work at all.
Nope.
We all made fun of them. They were literally the worst. It was a scam. I don't really care that people scam the government, like in general, because the government should be a little more
frugal.
Frugal, and they shouldn't be just like how many people were bidding for this contract? I bet one person. That's a problem. You should be investigating like multiple different vendors so you have multiple different options. Yeah.
You want to hear another bigger bitch? That's kind of like this.
I'm literally, my stomach's starting to hurt.
So you and I are upset about this, right? Like this is like you're like, oh my gosh, this is ridiculous. They took 60% of my fucking paycheck. Like, welcome to the middle class. Right? Look at that and look at that and tell me that that's what I shit you not. That is almost verbatim one of my paychecks if I do like 8 or 12 hours of overtime, federal income tax, this, that, all state tax taken out of it. Dude, like if you look at my paychecks, you go, Richard, 45% of your paycheck goes to taxes. I go, yes, because I'm punished in New York State for making overtime. How dare I work harder to make myself a little bit better? How dare I solve more crimes when I should be at home assisting my family that I'm trying to start? Oh, no. We should tax his overtime at 40%, a higher number than his straight time, to teach him not to work harder. How does this make sense? Zach, every day.
This is how we become radicalized. Yeah.
Every day, I shit you not. I won't say every day, but like every week, I look at like a paycheck or a certain amount of money that comes in because you and I are business owners. This is a business, right? We turned YouTube into our own private business, right?
Yes.
I've got Angry Cops Corporation. You've got Veteran with the Sign LLC or S Corp or whatever it is, right? We realized that, hey, we need to separate this from our personal, like our own paycheck, because otherwise the government's going to take a shit ton of more money out of it. So for those of you that aren't aware, if I were to take all the income that I got from YouTube and selling shirts and live streaming, by the way, and thank you all for making this possible. If I were to take that and put it all into one...
Drop a like.
For yourselves. If I were to take that and put it all in one paycheck for myself, the government would tax it at a higher rate than if I were to say, all right, Cop Richard High gets that money directly to him as an employee, and I create Angry Cops Corporation, and all the money goes to Angry Cops Corporation treated like a business, which is taxed at a lower bracket, and then I can pay myself from that. And it's and like you've got to jump through these fucking hoops, otherwise you get taxed out the ass, because heaven forbid I start a business The second, like, New York State hears that, or the federal government hears that, they're like, and start sucking the blood out of you. It's so, dude, it's so frustrating. And anyway, I say this because every week I'll get a paycheck or a stub, and I look at it and I go, I owe a third of this to the fucking government. And I say, our founding fathers, at a minimum, a third. At a minimum. It's like 25% is like where it starts.
If you're lucky, it's a third.
Right? And our founding fathers started a civil war, the Revolutionary War, because it was like, what, a 3 to 5% tax on tea and sugar?
2%.
2%. 2%.
Said, boys, get the muzzles.
Bro.
Get the muzzle loaders. Get your axe. Get your hose. You see,
get your
this
war
is like
hatchet.
a Shane Gillis joke. He's like, your dad wanted to be cool and liberal, and then
right?
he started paying taxes.
And then
like,
he's like, immigrants. Oh,
I have
man.
so many jobs. Like, have you thought about how many jobs you have? You have so many jobs too, just to live, and it's crazy. It's crazy. That's, I mean, and thank God I have a good CPA. Thank God I have a good CPA, because like,
what's a CPA?
Certified public accountant.
Oh,
my accountant. I have an accountant, because like, it's insane how it works and how much they like literally just pull right out of you, and you're like, how much? What for? What?
Dude, I'm still.
What did I get?
You ready for this? Dude, it always comes down to taxes whenever you and I talk, and it's hysterical.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I got audited by the feds, and they were like, you owe this amount of money, you owe that amount of money, and it started off with
Prove it.
Yeah, they were like, you owe this amount, and so I paid my taxes, and then they came back and were like, all right, hey, we looked at 2021 and 2022, and you owe more. And I'm like, fuck, shoot, how? I did it all through TurboTax. and so they're like, you owe it for like this. And I just got a tax guy, a corporate tax person, and the feds were like, you owe like $120,000. And I was like, for 1 year? That doesn't make any sense. That doesn't make any sense. That doesn't make any sense. That's if you took, like, what? And so I went to the tax guy, and he goes, hey, hold on, settle down, relax. Send them the taxes that you filed, because what the IRS does is they look at that year and they say, oh, okay, he owes us taxes. And they don't say what you owe. They say, this is what you owed the entire time, right? They don't say, oh, you paid this amount and you owe this amount. They say, hey, this is the entire amount in its entirety that we looked at that you now owe. So they send you a bill for that. So let's say it's, $100,000 and you paid 80. They don't say, hey, you owe us 20. They say, hey, you owe us $100,000. You need to fix it. And then it's your job to send them what you paid, your taxes that you already did, that they have on file already, and then say, here's the $20,000 that I missed out on, that I was wrong about, or that I didn't think was applicable. And so that's where I was at. So then, like, it went from like $80,000 to like, oh, okay, you owe like $25,000. And then I was like, wait, that looks oddly familiar. And I looked, I already sent that amount of money to the IRS, the exact amount, to the penny. And I was like, so they want me to pay it again? Mm-hmm. So I said, oh, hey, I don't owe this amount of money. Here's a photocopy of the check with IRS receiving it and cashing it. I don't owe this amount of money. I already paid it. And they sent me a letter back just the other day. I just got it. They're like, all right, hey, cool. It seems like you don't want to pay it. You can take this to court now. And I'm like, no, I showed you that I don't owe it. Why do I have to go to court now? So now I've got to go try to get a lawyer so I don't have to pay literally $31,000 in taxes because of like fees and fines. It was like $5 or $6 grand worth of fines because I already paid the money, but they didn't realize that I paid the money, but they want me to pay more money. When Donald Trump says, dude, I shit you know, when Donald Trump was like, I'm going to raise tariffs and you're not going to pay income tax anymore. I'm like, thank you so much. And to the people that are like, that's insane, that's stupid. Here's the deal. You might spend $6,000 more a year on purchasing foreign goods, but you're going to save $11,000 in taxes. And these aren't arbitrary numbers. This is from an article from an economist that already like said like, hey, the average amount of money that somebody would spend more a year would be $6,000, but the average amount of money that they would be saving and not paying income tax is $11,000. So if we subtract that amount, we learn that we would have $5,000 more in our pocket for the average American in this study. And I'm like, sweet, do it. Sweet, do it. Make things in America more again. Like, people wonder where the jobs went in America. It's small, stupid shit that we sourced out to China.
Dude, and you're right, we always talk about taxes. I don't understand how flat tax doesn't work. That's just me.
Oh,
I don't understand it.
Tax everybody and everything
10%.
10% once. And then we'll all walk away. And they used to, I don't want to say they used to do that, but when they had a lower tax bracket, I forget when it was. It was like in the 40s or like the 1890s. They like tried it for a little while and they went away from it. Whenever people are forced to pay less in taxes, more people actually pay that amount instead of trying to skip out on it as opposed to higher taxes. And if I'm losing you here, that means if you're taxed at 80%, we'll just say 80% just to make it a really high number. If you're taxed at 80%, that's really high. People will find ways in and out of it to try and, get out of the tax system and pay less. So the federal government doesn't really get the 80% from everybody. They get like 60, right? Yeah. But if you end up taxing, like, let's say 10%, you drop it to a really low number, people are like, oh yeah, that seems fair. And they pay the actual amount. And in total, the entire United States gives more money to the federal government when they're taxed the small amount because they're like, oh, that's easy, that's smaller, here's the money. As opposed to when they get taxed the higher amount and they're all trying to find ways in and out of it and cheat the system, the federal government gets less. The system.
Yes. Donald Trump also said, they're like, oh, you dodge paying taxes. He goes, yeah, I didn't make the rules, y'all did. I just learned how to work with them. I don't care. That's not his fault.
Dude, Dave Chappelle said it brilliantly on SNL. He's like, yeah, of course I don't pay my taxes because I'm smart. Like, you made the system and I worked my way around it. Why don't you fix the system? And when that was like, no, you didn't. And Dave Chappelle's like, no. All of us in the black community are like, wait a second. No, he's saying exactly what we've all been saying. What? Don't tell him to shut up. Like, wait a second. He just said the thing that we've all been thinking. What?
Isn't it also linked to like a better economy too when the taxes are lower? Obviously, people were putting more money into the economy as a whole.
Yeah, like
you're spending more dollars.
Dude, I don't know about trickle down economics, but I do know it's simple. If the government takes less of your money and you have more disposable income, several things happen. One, people will spend the money on local goods or just consumer goods, we'll say, right? More. So businesses grow that way. And two, people have more money to invest. And investing means that technology, we'll just say technology and businesses, job creation. It grows. Innovation. Thank you. There we go. Technology and innovation grow. I'm not some economist. I haven't even read Thomas Sowell's book, whatever his last name is, on the basics of economics. I gotta buy it. I just have a rudimentary understanding of it. But even then, I'm not like that dumb.
It's all this to say, $6 billion motherfucking dollars
for veterans who lost their fucking hearing.
It didn't work, and it's a I don't know what the right word is. It is fucking disrespectful and disgraceful that they have lined up at the troughs to feed themselves while we have crumbs left for us. And again, like, I'm by no means complaining. I can't believe anything happened at all, but it's fucking bullshit. Like
I'm happy and disappointed at the same. It's like getting a free sandwich, but it's like getting an ice cream cone, right? But when you're halfway, when you're really enjoying that ice cream cone. Oh man, delicious. It's a twist. There's sprinkles, and then some fucking bully just smacks it on your hand, and you watch it hit the ground, and the ants eat it, and you're just like, I had this great thing, but it's gone now. Talk about bittersweet.
Yeah, and it's just,
I like Kendall. I tried to write a stand-up joke about exactly what Kendall said in the super chat. Like, God only takes 10%, yet the government ends up taking half of my income. You're telling me that Jesus Christ did less for me than the federal government? I'm telling you what, he's done more with less than the federal government. My tithes are only 10%, baby.
The Lord only takes 10%. flat tax, abolish the IRS. That's pretty much where I'm at as a person. Because if it's flat across the board, do they even need to exist?
Bro.
No.
It's it's my streaming channel, so I'm gonna talk about whatever I want to talk about, right?
Run it.
We're gonna get a little political about stuff, and I'm not gonna like try to sway you to one side or the other. Listen, I got friends that are Democrats, I got friends that are Republicans. I'm a moderate.
And we block their numbers.
and I'm independent. I'm registered independent. I don't give a shit, which actually is kind of stupid because I should vote in primaries. I should probably register as a Democrat in New York so I can vote in primaries and try to pick the less crazy person because Democrats always going to win in New York. But
yep.
So let's talk about that IRS thing real quick, right? We're talking about money. We're talking about our money.
Yep.
Trump says months ago, I don't want to tax tips anymore, which I think is fucking brilliant. Because guess what?
Genius.
The amount of money that I get, it's taxed already. Why do I get to give somebody a gift of money that's under $600, right? Because I think you can only tax a gift if it's above $600. Why does that get taxed? It's already been taxed. It was taxed when I put it in my pocket from my paycheck. Why then do you get to tax us if I'm handing this to a person saying, thank you very much, this is a gift? That's what a tip is. It's not mandatory. Here you go. Why is that being taxed? So Trump says, we're not going to tax tips anymore, which is brilliant. I love it. And then recently, Kamala Harris comes out and says, you know what? I'm not going to tax tips. And I'm like, sweet. That's great. It doesn't matter what side of the aisle you're on. Not taxing tips is a good thing. I could give a shit that you stole it from Donald Trump. A good idea is a good idea. And as a politician, if it takes care of some people, I'm all about it. Now, here's where I'm a little confused. Because, I don't know if you know this, Zach. Kamala Harris is currently the vice president of the United States of America. And the guy that's in charge is, brain dead.
What?
Hey, we been Medicare. Right?
Yeah.
So why?
Trader Joe, that's what they call him.
That's what they call him. So why didn't you start this before, right? Why didn't you just do this before? Why don't you do it now? Why don't you tell, hey, Biden, listen, this is going to be a win for us. Take it away from Trump and just let's do this now, which will get us a whole bunch of, working class people. There's a whole bunch of people in the service industry and restaurants that want tips, right? Let's do this now. Instead of making it a promise, we'll do it in the future. Let's do this now and get a whole bunch of votes. And once again, if you're Republican or Democrat, who gives a shit? I don't care as long as the people are taken care of. That's a politician's job. Take care of the people. Why don't you just do it now? You'll gain a whole bunch of votes. Here's my other thing. Go ahead. And then I'll get to my second point.
To me, like you're saying, if they really wanted to do it, they would do it now. Is that correct?
I'm saying,
they might be saying stuff to kind of pander and pull votes?
I'm saying, what's your motive? If you're in charge right now, what is your motivation to hold on to it? Why not do it now? Get the notoriety in the public press now. Show that you're capable and you can do things now, which would, once again, make your political campaign look that much stronger.
Yeah.
Like instead of dangling the carrot for me, plant that shit. Let's make it grow, baby. Second point. I don't know if you know this, but there was a bill that went through Congress, and it happened to be, let's not tax tips anymore. Zach, would you be surprised that it came down to a split house? Like it was split, in the House of Representatives. And so, if a bill is split 50-50, okay, there is a tie-breaking vote. Do you know who does the tie-breaking vote, Zach?
Tell me.
Why, it would be the sitting vice president of the United States.
What?
Zach, that happened to be Kamala Harris. And would you be surprised, I know I would, if I told you that her vote to not tax tips, the deciding vote was to say, no, we're going to tax tips. We're going to throw that bill out. We are going to tax tips. That was her vote. Her vote before was to tax the tips. But now she's like like a rabbi where circumcisions. She wants to tax those tips, baby. Each tip is getting taxed, all right? To the balls, all the way down the shaft, babe. So she's taxing these tips like a rabbi doing circumcisions. And then now she changes her mind and says, no, we're not going to tax them anymore. Okay. So anyway, there's that. So that whole thing has me a little irritated. Second point.
I can't breathe.
Did you like that tip joke?
Yeah.
You did, didn't you? I had to stare at myself in the screen and try to remember what rabbi was. I was like, wait a minute, Jewish guy. What's the Jewish community leader? Rabbi. Boom. Taxing the tips like a rabbi at a bar mitzvah, baby.
Oy vey.
What do you mean you want 80% off? Oh, that's the whole schlong. So the second thing that irritates me, Zach, is we're talking about money and the IRS and tips.
Mm-hmm.
Zach, I don't know if you remember this.
What?
It happened a couple years ago, so it might a memory hold it. Do you remember when the federal government was going to create 82,000 IRS agents to audit fucking America? Do you remember that? Everybody was like, wait, 8,200? No, 82,000. Yeah. So the federal government, which, by the way, the only way it can create jobs is if it taxes. So the federal government was going to take more money from us to make 82,000 IRS agents to then look at everybody's taxes under a microscope and see who might have spent more than $600 and transferred it from one another on literally PayPal and Venmo. Like every transaction.
82,000 people to get the money your grandmother sends you.
Yes. So do you remember who was in charge during that couple years ago when that whole shenanigan happened and everybody was pretty upset about? Do you remember?
Who was it?
Gosh dang it, if it wasn't, Vice President Kamala Harris and President Joe Biden, by golly, Zach, it's almost as if the people in charge for the past several years have been trying to take all of our money from us.
Here's what's weird.
Tell me a weird thing. Tell me a weird thing, Zach. I want to be weird.
It is weird to hear the people that are like currently in office talk about what they're going to do once they get in office, and I feel like I'm going insane. Like they're like, dude, when I get up there, it's gonna be completely different. I'm like, you're there. You're there right now. You've been here. It's been rough. We've got 2 new wars. We have a horrible pullout game. I'm pretty sure we're gonna find a new war in Africa here soon. Like things don't seem to be going. Inflation's through the roof, and I feel quite gaslit when I'm like, hey, dude, when I get in office, it's gonna be so different. It's gonna be so different. Trust me. You're like, but what are you doing now? You're like, oh, I'm in office. Okay.
I can't do it now. I got a lot of things on my plate. What?
I'm busy right now. I'm hanging out with Beyonce.
Like,
freedom, I can't move. Like it's just I don't know. It's I never wanted to care about politics.
No.
I don't want to care about politics either. I want to care about memes, video games. I'm trying to get into that more.
I'd like to get into video games more. It's relaxing, but at the same time,
they're gonna start taxing that too. They're gonna tax every download.
Well, you know what the annoying thing about video games is now is that it's all downloads. Like you get a disc, but then you got to download it, and every game is like 500 gigabytes. So then you can only have like 5 or 6 games on your console. I'm a console player, and you can only have like 5 or 6 games on your console before you got to delete all of your shit, and then even then you've got to download the update. And then even when you download the game from the CD, you have to download the way to play it from the internet, and you're sitting there like, why is it taking 4 hours to download a game that I have the disc of right now? I just want to play it.
Yeah.
Why? And then why do I have to go online to play it all the time? I thought I downloaded the game so I could play it when I'm not online. Sorry, you can't go and play your game right now. It's not connected to the internet. I didn't think it needed to be. I'm just playing the storyline.
You're kind of the dumbest person ever. Just download it. That being said,
And like, I'd like to.
I'm back into Call of Duty, and it's awesome.
Are you playing on a PC? Or are you playing on
PC.
I'm told that
But-
the way to play like internet games, or internet games, but like streaming games where you're playing against people online, is to play on a PC and not to use that, even though you can attach it. It's to use the keyboard because it's faster. And you get to do that doodly doot 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 a little bit faster.
I have this like legit here. This like legit heavy mechanical keyboard. I'll probably never use it for gaming. I just don't like that.
I have an amazing computer, and I have a like literal
Adele.
2005 Department of Defense Dell keyboard that I got from like overseas that we like shipped back home, and they're like, we've got all the extra keyboards, and I was like, oh, I need a keyboard, and I had this in my basement for years, and then I was like, oh, I haven't had a desktop in a long time. I just used a laptop for a while, and I've got my Mac behind me, and I was like, oh, they're giving me a brand new gaming computer to do streaming stuff on. All right, thank you, Zydex, by the way, Zydex Computers, shout out to you.
Shout out.
I was like, okay, cool. Well, they gave me the Fantastic Tower, which looks great. Right there.
Looks gorgeous.
Gorgeous. And I was like, well, I'm just going to use this old keyboard that I have. And that's what I do.
This one's from...
I'm such a boomer. Even though
check
I'm
this
not.
out. This one like has weight to it. I just don't like... I've done keyboard, mouse, video... I just don't like it. It's just not fun. And honestly, this controller, I can just boost up the sensitivity. It's just as fast. Like, and I don't use Bluetooth anything. I go straight in. Wire in, baby.
I like the wire.
Of course, I'm dumb. Let us see the mouse. The mouse is glorious gaming as well. Looks like that. There you go.
I've got a Dell mouse as well. It is your normal laser Dell mouse that came with the keyboard from government computers that were being thrown out. And I was
What are
able...
the buttons? Is it WSAD? Is that what it is when you... Isn't that what it is?
WSAD is like forward, left, right, and reverse. That's like your your arrows.
I'm not doing that.
I'm told it takes a little while to get used to, but once you get the hang of it, you're flying. But at the same time, if I play a video game, I want to sit back and relax on my couch and play it for a couple hours and just like chill. I don't do it that often, but that's what I want to do. And if I'm playing a video game on this computer, I'm sitting upright, I'm focusing, I'm doing my left and right hands. I'm not really relaxing.
Yeah. I
use video games as an
starting to happen.
Right?
It's so what I do is when I sit down to like game, I literally do an hour. And so like right now I'm building everything out to start streaming. Like I'm gonna get a mic like that, so this will be like my gaming setup, and then I'm gonna get a mic and everything. But like I give this 1 hour a day because like I'm the king. I used to get up with like sweaty hands and I'd be like, nah, I've been here for like a day, like because I just get too addicted to it. But it's
that Cheeto smell coming from your body. You know, like that smell like when your body's just been sitting for a while, like when you're sick and you're in bed, you lay in bed all day, like that body stank.
That funk, it's like the inside of a fart. Like, it's gross.
Dude,
it's just...
I had to search inside of a trucker's cab the other day.
Ugh.
I won't say what for, but either way, somebody got, he got our attention. And so then I'm searching through a 18-wheeler's cab, and it's a sleeper unit. So I, climb in. I'm in between the passenger and the driver's seat. I go into the back where there's, the little sleeper bed and stuff like that. And
the cab.
The stench of BO was, I gagged once, which dude, it takes a lot. But I got a whiff of whatever it was in like the heart of the stank. I was like moving stuff around, and then eventually I moved into the spot, and I got a boom right to the face of the essence of it. And I was like, ooh. I was like, ooh, God. Oh, I haven't gagged in a while from stank.
And then you and then he just turned around and shot.
So, and on top of that, interesting thing, something I haven't seen in a long time. Guess what I found?
Go ahead.
No, I want you to guess. I want you to think, all right, this is a dude driving an 18-wheeler. What is something that you think I found that that probably brought me back?
18-wheeler, male, VCR.
Nope.
Playboys.
No.
Am I getting close?
You're close because you're getting towards the masculine.
Yeah. Fleshlight.
No.
Pulled that from the chat.
We're getting close though. So let me. I'll help you out here. I'm not gonna hand it to you. I'm gonna try and like push you in the right direction.
Go ahead.
You were deployed. What are some things that you had inside of your vehicle?
Tobacco, guns.
Well, I can't say what we found that was taken into evidence, but keep going. This
Tobacco, guns, knife, piss bottles.
Boom! Piss bottle. Dude, I found a 1.5 gallon water bottle. Huge spring thing with bright yellow piss in it. And it was almost full. I did not pick it up. It could have been 2 gallons, but I think it was 1.5 gallons, like the massive water bottles with like the plastic handle on top that swings.
Brother.
Filled nearly to the top. Like that much room. And I was like, I know what that is. I know that's not Gatorade.
That's not Gatorade.
That's not Gatorade.
That's the opposite of hydration.
Yeah. It was bright, which makes me feel like it'd been there for a while.
Of all the things I have from my time in service, I've always thought that one of the funnier ones would be like if like we were hanging out and I just got up and I just like went to pee and you're like, Zach, did you go to the bathroom? I'm like, nah, man, I haven't been the same since I got back, and I can only pee in bottles. Like, I can't use a toilet. Like, I just get in there and I start screaming. You have to keep Gatorade bottles on you at all times.
My second tour, I lived in like combat housing units, you know, and you know there were like a grid of like these like connexes that you could live in, right? And I had to split it with a dude, and we would pee in a bottle every once in a while, you know, if you're just like tired and it's in the middle of the night and you're like, I can't wake up and go somewhere, like it's either too cold because you know you got shorts and a t-shirt on, you gotta bundle up, and the piss, you know, taking a leak is way over there at the pissers, and you're like, all right, I'm just gonna hit a bottle real quick. It would happen every so often, but normally I would just be like, it's 2 a.m, I'm going to go piss on the side of this building, and I'm going to come right back inside. Screw it. I don't care. And then every once in a while, you get close to getting caught. And you're like, it would wake you up a little bit. You're like, oh.
Speaking of getting caught, Not and Reg said, can we talk about NickyMcG TV?
First of all, shout out to Not and Regs. He has helped me with a couple videos that I've made so far where he will post. Dude, I love accounts like Not and Regs because I follow Not and Regs specifically and a couple other accounts that are similar to his because they have their fingers on the pulse of what's going on in the military right now. And I follow Not and Regs and a couple other accounts specifically because I know what's going on military-wide by following these accounts and like what's going on, what's the scuttlebutt, what's pissing people off, what's a stupid thing that somebody's done recently, right? They're like the private news network, but more reliable. Because even they do a little bit of background check when somebody like makes a bitch about some stuff too. So shout out to Not and Regs. He's been fantastic. I'll ask him for, hey, dude, I saw that video that you posted. Would you mind sending it to me so that I can make some content out of it? He's like, absolutely, brother. And he hooks me up. And I really appreciate it that even though there are moments in the veteran sphere, the military community, where we might backbite one another, because, you know, we don't like something that this guy did, or this guy said something stupid, or we disagree with. This guy
pretended to be a sergeant major and he wasn't, you know, stuff like that. These are things. What? Things
to that nature, right? It's always great because there's actually a lot of camaraderie in the military space on the internet. As long as you're not a raging asshole. If you disagree with somebody and be like, this is fucking dumb, I disagree with that. There's actually a lot of good back and forth with people that go, oh, okay, cool. Well, I don't see it that way either. Blah, 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 blah. But anywho. What were we going to talk about? What did Not and Reg say? He said something.
He said Nikki McG, but first off, Danny D said, I'm a contractor in Iraq. I'm hang on. And we have a guy who reuses his piss bottle. He cleans them out and everything. So he's still in Iraq where there's water bottles everywhere. You've been overseas, as have I. There's no shortage of water bottles. So that's the grossest thing I've ever heard in my entire life.
How do you clean out a piss bottle? That sounds like all he's doing is dumping it and maybe rinsing it with water, which means that if he's rinsing it with water, he's probably rinsing it in a sink and dumping piss down a sink. Hope you don't drop your toothbrush in there or your retainer, because
what situation
I would smack that man.
is he in Iraq where they have Wi-Fi over there? Like, it's not 2003. Like, there's also water bottles everywhere. There's like restaurants and shit. I don't understand what's happening.
Oh, dude, Kenneth says the amount of truck drivers that have piss bottles that are gallons or full is insane. Some drivers, quote, Western Express and Swift, they open the cab doors and you can smell the ammonia from 50 yards away. Dude, listen, I got no problem with you having long days, driving, humping your freaking load from, California to New York. But listen, there are loves everywhere across the United States where it's like $15 to take a shower. And that's your home, dude. That's your home. I do not understand the stank thing. I do not understand it. Dude, body odor is a huge thing for me. Like, you cannot, especially as a hairy guy, I have to be clean.
Yes. I have fat kid blood. Like, my default mode is husky little middle school kid, real. That's what the genes said. And if my worst fear is you coming to me being like, Zach, what have you been doing? Mowing the lawn? And I'm like, no, I just showed up. Like, that is like a social anxiety I have. So the idea that I would sit in my own stank.
Non-reg says
Negative.
the dude's has an attachment to the bottles. It's my piss bottle. I have to keep it. It's mine, Daddy. This is mine. I call this one Penelope.
Back when I was in charge, we had nobody pissing in bottles. We were clean, using the bathroom.
I let senior non-commissioned officers strike their joes because they were doing dumb shit like this. And our military, to be frank, it was stronger. Much stronger.
Our military was so strong, they would piss through the bottles.
Their
right
streams,
through them.
It's what people are telling me. Their streams are so strong, battles could not hold them. Right through.
The Taliban
Superman
attacks
piss.
because they're like, whoa, they're blowing the backs out of those bottles. Dasani, Cristal.
That cheap Aquafina, I know it's cheap. It's gross. Nobody drinks it.
Yeah, I'm like literally, I'm on the verge of vomiting. It just like all I can think about is some guy being like, "What's up, Ted?" Like, "What are you doing, dude?" "Oh man, I filled up my water bottles." And you're like, "Yeah, we're in the bathroom. Are you emptying the full water?" "Yeah, I got to use it again." I hate you so much.
What?
But
What mental disability does that guy have where he's like, I need to clean this out and use it again?
yeah,
Dude, you toss that. If you dump it, fine. Okay, that's great. I mean, somebody doesn't have to get like a piss bottle explode on them when the garbage is getting compressed, right?
okay, sure.
Okay. You take it to a bathroom when you got to go take a leak and take a shit and you dump it in there and flush it. Then you put that bottle in the garbage. Why do you hold on to it? That's like the weird people that collect their dead pets or their hair or like put their fucking dead birds in a freezer and are like, one day I'll bury them. They have weird emotional attachment to objects. That guy, his mom, I bet you was a hoarder, or she threw out every single thing that he had that he loved, like his Pokemon cards. And now he's like, this piss bottle is mine. I can't let it go. Mama will throw it away. This is mine.
His mom probably eats clay or something weird too. You know, I mean,
The couch cushion lady that eats couch cushions.
She passed it down, dude. But Not and Regs wanted us to talk about Nicky McG TV and his situation.
I'm
Here we go.
guessing. I don't have any special interior knowledge on this. I want to work with Nick. I want to work with him and make sure that he's being treated fairly.
Yeah.
I have started to alert people in my circle that I can about how I feel that this needs oversight because the military and his chain of command may be overstepping their bounds. And I think they really did. And I'll explain why. Overstepping their bounds on his First Amendment rights. And his ability to still stream or talk about things or have a secondary job or occupation while you're active component, because it just happens to be, I'll say, high profile.
Yeah.
And I'll go into that a little bit more. But do you have a point?
No, I'm thinking. Continue.
All right. So here's my thing, right? We know that Nikki made a post and it said, "Hey, listen, there's an investigation going on regarding my social media account. I'm told I have to remove all the stuff from the channel, and that I can't post until, or he said he can't post, or he's choosing not to post."
Yeah, he said he was waiting. Yeah.
I'm going to be as transparent as I can be here, right? I'm not going to try and put words in somebody else's mouth. Yeah. So he took down his stuff and said, he's not going to post until the investigation is done with, right? Now, I don't know if that's him choosing to, because once again, right, we've got somebody that says, "Hey, here's a public statement. I can't post anymore. I'm taking this stuff down. This is all of my volition during this investigation." One, I don't believe you. So, and I'm not saying I don't believe you as in you're lying to us. I'm saying I think he put that out there so then it wouldn't draw attention to him or his command, because I guarantee you that is his command saying, "You will take down all of this shit right now as a show of good faith. And if you don't, even though we can't punish you for it, we will absolutely punish you for keeping it up if you don't listen to us. This isn't a direct order to take it down, but if you don't take it down, we're going to fuck you." I can't verify that, but I've got a strong feeling that that's exactly what happened. Two, that makes me also feel this way. You don't take down everything in the past unless, like, everything, like you nuke your entire channel, you put everything on private, everything.
There's nothing, yeah.
No. That is 100% somebody from above saying you need to remove it now. Now, I haven't watched every single one of his videos, but I've watched a lot of his videos. And he has asked me in the past, like, "Hey, man, how do you say the things that you say? Like, what do you do? How can I make sure I'm doing the right thing and not get in trouble?" And I'm like, one, you need a disclaimer. You have to have a disclaimer saying that this is just you, right? That this is not a representation of the DOD or the United States military, whatever branch you're in, yada, yada. Like, but that won't save you from everything. You still need to be careful. And you can't call out people in certain ways. You can say things. If it's an article, you can read the article and say, "Hey, this is what's going on in this article. What do you think?" And pose that question.
Cop.
Well, yeah, I know how to.
You understand much more about how to avoid prosecution, is what I would say.
Yeah, I know how to word things.
Yeah.
Well, let's call this what it is, right? Nikki, all he does is read the news. And this is like, this isn't to shit on him, right? This is to be just like plain and clear, right? He sees an article, he reads the article, he asks his audience, "What do you think?" And then sometimes he'll read comments that say, "Oh, I don't like this." And he'll go, "Oh, this person said that they didn't like it. That's one side of the argument." And then he'll read another comment and says, "Well, I like this." And he goes, "Well, here's another side of the opposite side of an argument. And it's showing this." How in the world is that an issue? How is that an issue? And it's not. I'll tell you why it's not. It's not until you bring up an officer.
Ooh. Is it specific officers? I don't want to name names. Maybe they're running for Miss Whatever.
Oh, you think it's one of that, huh?
I'm 100%. I mean, brother, like, it's a whole thing. Do both.
Hold on.
Not in regs. From Nikki himself. Big Navy is pretty much saying stop or I'll be fucked. I'm not being NJP or anything yet.
Well, I also don't want to say anything.
Well, that is a comment from Not in regs.
Well, I'm also careful to not say anything. Nikki said this, Nikki said that, right? Because
yeah,
heaven forbid we say Nikki said this, Nikki said that.
Allegedly,
and then
said
that's
that.
used against him, right? Because that's exactly what's going to happen. They're going to use it against him. So be careful what you put out there on behalf of Nikki as a heads up. Just because you put it out there doesn't mean that his command isn't going to shit on it. So what I would say is, not in regs and everybody in the military sphere, if you are going to say something on Nikki's behalf, do not say Nikki said. Say, I think that they did this to Nikki. I think Nikki feels this way. Do not make it a Nikki said, because I'm telling you right now, they're going to turn it back on Nikki. Zach,
well,
I am not in the Navy, and
thank God.
a female Navy officer is in no way, shape, or form in my chain of command. Does this person have a Twitter or an Instagram that I could look up right now?
I mean, I think it was, if I had to guess.
Is it
Nikki
Instagram or Twitter?
Anything to me? I think it's Instagram. I would imagine he did have some videos about Kelly S. Brocky, whatever her name is. I think that's her name. Type in your password real quick.
Yeah, no, I just took this off of my my main screen.
Yeah, I know.
I've learned
I took
before.
it on all my stuff. So, and again, Nikki's never done anything really. He's always ridden that line of, he always says he's like TMZ of the military, which, you know, he's covered a few things that have happened with me, with you. And he's been pretty fair. I've never found him to be biased in any way, shape, or form. I have always respected the fact that he's gone out of his way to, like, I won't say be a bastard of truth, just like have an unbiased opinion on stuff, especially when it's much easier. You know, like he's never been like mean to me or malicious to me. So like, you know, I think that's great. My issue is that I don't feel a lot of these a lot of these military influencers, especially these officer influencers, I find them to be somewhat disingenuous in the way that they portray military life, because the military life of an officer is
Very
significantly different than
what
the
is
life
I'm looking
of,
for her Instagram handle now. What's her Instagram handle?
I think
Kelly.
it's Kelly S. Brocky or whatever. So I just find it to be disingenuous, is just my own opinion of it. So, you know, and I don't know her. I just know that, like, I know enough about the military to, like, just know that, like, that experience that she's having is not everyone else, but the portrayal is that, like, everyone can access this same level of stuff, and that just doesn't that's just not true.
I can't find her.
She probably blocked you. It doesn't matter.
How do you spell Kelly?
Kelli. Here. Boom. KELLIESBROCCHI. Yeah.
Got it.
Again, it's not her. There's this whole generation of these military officers across all branches and all genders that I just don't care for, because their whole position is being like, everyone can do this, and like, I don't want to hear an officer's opinion on anything at all, ever, for the most part. So, especially when it comes to like talking about how cool it is to be in the military, when they make E6 pay starting out, you know, when like it was literally everything we could do to pay our bills when I was an E1 married, like it was insane. So I think this is, I mean, he's had a bunch of videos about her. He had a video about Jackie Barnum and like all that stuff.
So I've seen Kelly before, and I know that there's been like a bunch of backlash about her, and I remember it originally brought to my attention.
We can't pull up his videos, so I can't reference anything. I just went to pull them up, but you're right, they're all private.
They're all gone.
Like,
So
Yeah.
the first thing that I remember being an issue with her, or where there was an issue, was that she went to the Super Bowl like a couple years ago,
Yeah.
and she was there as like a Navy representative of the Navy.
Reporter.
Yeah,
Reporter. Yeah.
a reporter,
She was making TikToks for the Navy. Yeah.
which is like, okay, hey, listen,
That's fine.
you want to make TikToks, you want to do social media for the military?
That's
No,
fine.
no hate, man. No hate. No hate. But a lot of people were really irritated about it. And then I feel I'm torn, right? I'm torn. Let me tell you why I'm torn. So I'll see people that will use the military as a grift. And I try not to. I say, hey, I am a military member and I have experiences that, only military members have. And based on some of those experiences, my humor and some of my personality comes through from that. And then I put forward this fucking shit, right?
Yeah.
What I don't do, and I've told you this before, so this is not a surprise, is I do not like being in uniform when I do it, because I do make money from this. This is a side business. I'm a civilian. I'm a part-timer in the reserves, and the Guard, always have been, right? So it's like, as my part-time job, I make content, and it is military related and police related. So but I try not to make it a grift. And I've told you this, and I said I will not put an ad. I do not like putting ads, and I don't think I ever have put an ad in when I'm wearing the drill sergeant hat. Even though I'm not in the drill sergeant uniform, I'm in BDUs. It's a costume, right?
Yeah.
I have too much respect for the hat, and I know that even though this is a character, for me personally, I don't like putting ads where the hat is, because I don't want the hat to be known as like some sellout thing, right? Even Arlie Ermy, he might have dressed up and portrayed it, a drill sergeant in Full Metal Jacket, but he wasn't like parading around all the time with his drill sergeant cap on. Now, did people call him Gunny? Yes, that was the rank that he earned, right?
That's fine.
And that's totally fine. But you know what he wasn't doing? He wasn't wearing his dress blues everywhere and making it a thing everywhere that he went. You're like, hey, you need to call me Gunny. Hey, you need to show me respect because I'm, a service member, blah, blah. No. No. That was who he was, and it was a part of his history and what made him what he was, which is great. We can acknowledge that without him throwing it in your face and saying, because I'm a Marine, you need to do this, this, and this, and pay attention to me, right?
Yeah.
So I say that because in moments like this, where obviously I believe that she's making money from social media, she's got all of her Empower Speaking #DoBoth trademark, right? This is her business. This is a business. She's also portraying herself as an officer, active duty in the business. And there is some heat there, right? Because you're not supposed to use your rank for personal profit.
You're not supposed
pleasure,
to.
safety.
There's a whole generation of officers that are setting the military back to the Stone Age, in my opinion.
Why is that?
Because of this. They're using their rank and their uniform to platform themselves in general.
So let me ask you this, because this is where I have, and this isn't, I'm not being a dick, right? It's a little bit of being devil's advocate here, but like, where is the line? Where is the line
appears to be that officers in general are allowed more leeway. I mean, non-regs. What's crazy is she gets away with it, but if anyone else does it, they would get fried. But enlisted, they will hang up for anything else.
So then, I guess that's subconsciously, I think maybe this is why I brought this up, specifically her, right? So we have a female in the Navy.
Female officer
that is an officer, correct? That is an officer. She's promoting on her TikTok, on her Instagram, on her everything. I do both.
Yes.
Stating, not only am I a naval officer, but I can also do these other things too. So you're using your rank and your position, right, to further yourself in these other entrepreneurial things, which as an active duty person is But these posts are still up. I don't see anybody having an issue with her. In fact, several times I've heard her defend herself and be like, I'm just doing this. People came up to me and say that I motivate them, which is great. I mean, I may not find this. I mean, I don't follow her, so not my cup of tea, but whatever. Other people might fucking absolutely love her. That's great.
That's fine. And we're both advocating for that.
Which is cool.
But what about
Nikki? But why can't Why can't a guy who's not in look at this. There's like Navy uniform. Navy uniform,
They're
Navy
both in
uniform,
the
Navy
Navy.
uniform, Navy uniform, Navy uniform, Navy uniform. You know, in between with bikini pictures because she's going for Miss America and she does swimsuit competitions or whatever, which
Good.
is
And good for her. And that's
which
awesome.
is fine. Which is fine. I'm all about military personnel representing the United States in beauty pageants or Miss America or whatever it is, the Olympics, etc. I'm all about it. I ain't here to body shame. In fact, I love that one female rugby player was getting like shit on because she had broad shoulders, but fucking she's a beast and kicked ass. Good for fucking
She's
her.
awesome. Dude, I watched the U.S. rugby team because of that.
Oh, dude.
Alana
I mean, I played
Mar?
rugby, so I love rugby, and sevens is exciting. And
I've never.
her stiff
I don't
arm
know
was-
anything about rugby. I was all in.
Oh,
Brother, I was all in.
dude,
It
sevens
was so
is
great.
sevens is fun and exciting. It's fast paced because there's not as many people on the field. It's great.
Perfect. It made me want to play. I was like, okay, I get rugby. Like
It's fun.
when I saw them because they were moving the whole time.
Oh yeah, there's no breaks. There's no
How
break.
does the
Only in
kick
half.
work? Explain that to me real quick. The distances were different each time they made a field goal kick is all I know, but the kick.
So there's different ways to score in rugby. We'll do this real quick and then we'll go back on topic. So
Yeah.
what we call a touchdown, they call a try, and you score by touching the ball down, touchdown.
Yep.
In the try zone, right? The end zone.
Hell yeah.
So you get 5 points for that. Oh man, I'm gonna mess up the kicks. I think the kicks are 3 points. So anywho, you get 5 points for a try, and then your point after attempt. You know, just like we do for field goals after you score a touchdown. Your conversion, correct? And it's either 2 or 3 points. I think it might be 3. Either way.
Davey used to work for USA Rugby, and he's in the chat. Hell yeah.
Oh fuck yeah.
Yeah.
Oh dude, Davey, hook a brother up, man.
Hey.
So
Yeah. Hook us up, dude.
okay, there we go. So penalty goal. So I'm right and I'm wrong at the same time. So
You're fine.
it's 5 points for a try. It's 2 points for a conversion, the points after a try. And then it's 3 points for a penalty goal. Similar like where football is, you get 3 points if you don't make it to the end zone, but you go for points anyway, right? And similar to a field goal where you're going for 3 points in football, rugby is the same in a way that wherever you're tackled and the penalty takes place, that's where time stoppage happens. So if there's a penalty on the opposite team and you get the ball at a certain spot, you can either choose to go for points, the 3-point conversion or the 3-point penalty goal, or you can, touch the ball with your foot, tap it with your foot, and then you continue to play rugby by passing the ball backwards and running into your opponents, right?
It's awesome.
But
like
instead of it having it like in between like the hash marks that are in football, which are like only like 10 yards apart, right? The field is far longer. So wherever the penalty was, it can go from either side of the field within 5 meters from the out of bounds line. So within 5 meters from either out of bounds line, wherever the penalty is, you can actually kick and try to score a goal from there. And the other cool thing about rugby is if you score, the team that you scored on has to kick the ball off to you. So if you score, you get the ball back. You don't go
right now. I'm like so jazzed about it.
Dude,
Next
it's a
time
fun
you come
game.
in town, we'll play rugby. Davey, we want to play. Rich and I want to play with USA Rugby. We want to do that.
I'll play sevens. I've had so many concussions, I had to stop. But I'll play some sevens. I'll do that.
Forget it. He'll take one more. He'll be fine.
I'll wear a scrub cap. I'll be one of those guys. I started out that way. You wear like this padded cap, which like protects your head from concussions. And when I started out as a winger, which is like a guy that's not in a lot of tackles, but he's on the edge and has to prevent guys from breaking the line, I would wear that anyway, just because I was so concussion prone.
Yeah. But let's go back to the rules for thee, but not for me conversation we were having.
And so, and to pick up on exactly
Sally.
where we left off, like here's, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 out of 9 posts. 6 out of 9 posts are her in her whites. One of them is in her khakis. And she's saying, hey, here I am. I'm promoting myself as a naval officer. I'm promoting myself as a naval officer out here with my brand for my personal gain, right? Then in juxtaposition, which this is not an issue because it's still up, it's not taken down. In juxtaposition, you've got Nikki, who's not in uniform, who states, hey, listen, I'm only speaking about this from my military experience. I'm not saying that as a so-and-so I believe this way. I'm saying from my experience. That's it.
Yeah, he literally reads comments.
And he reads comments. And if I'm not mistaken, I believe he's getting in trouble for reading comments that are negative to naval personnel.
How
So,
was that his fault?
and he's responsible for them apparently. So,
That is not the internet, but all right, yeah.
when my first 15-6 investigation, I was investigated for that, for social media stuff. And they were like, hey, some people wrote these comments. You're getting investigated for these comments. And I'm like, and I get investigated. The IO, the investigating officer, comes up and talks to me and says, tell me about these comments. And I go, sir, I can't control comments on a YouTube page. I go, the comments are just like the comments on a local news channel. These are somebody else leaving their thoughts underneath a video that I made. I have no control over what somebody else thinks or posts, but underneath that, I cannot be held liable for that. Much like how a news company that, let's say the Washington Times, can't be held liable if somebody comments underneath an article and says, F this is dumb, and throws a bunch of racial slurs. I go, that's not the business's issue. So how is it then that the Navy is saying, hey, because you read this comment, now people know that it exists? Now people already knew it existed. It's on a public forum.
Rules for thee, but not for me. And it's just, it's one of those things, when the military does it every so often, they pick someone out of like a group of people and they just try and make an example of him. And to be honest, Nicky, I think they've probably been tracking him for a little bit, and they were just waiting to find a reason.
And that is why them making him, which I believe, this is my personal opinion based on the actions, I believe that they made him take down all of his videos, every single one of them, because they have been watching him for a while. They have been waiting for him to slip up. And by slip up, I mean they're willing to make up and stretch a rule to try and cover it, to make it seem like it's his fault, so then they can remove everything. They won't say it's going to be this video, and that video, because then that sets a precedent. Okay, so I know what's right and I know what's wrong. No. They're going to keep it in the gray. And they're going to say the entirety of your catalog has moments where you are blah, 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 conduct unbecoming, blah, 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 makes us look bad. And they're never going to point it out specifically, because if they did point out each violation specifically, you could nitpick their pick out and be like, horseshit, bullshit, go fuck yourself. And Non Reg says, quote, he's like, yeah, I'm an officer. He's speaking as if he's this female officer.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, I'm an officer in the Navy, and that's my whole page. But all the sponsors and stuff, and all the stuff that I sell, that has nothing to do with my page. So now I know, because I do have people inside the Navy that are messaging me about what's going on, and I don't want to, loose lips sink ships, so they say. But I know somebody in the Navy. They've come to me and they've talked to me a little bit about Nicky's case. Not Nicky, it's an officer. So good luck fucking finding him, Navy. Anywho, one of your own, baby. That's what let me tell you something about what I love about this fucking channel that I've got, right? I don't fucking snitch anybody out. I never will. You can demote me and kick me out. I won't fucking say shit. I've got 20 years in. So good luck fucking trying to squeeze fucking blood from a rock. And because I have that integrity, I'll say, of keeping my sources quiet, and also just not even using them, really just knowing that what I'm saying is factual, and then leaving it at that, and putting out my opinion. That's usually where I leave it at. I don't usually quote people, but different. I've got so many people in high places that have contacted me and said, by the way, great story. This is actually what additionally happened to what you're saying, which is true. Or, hey, I hear you're looking up this video. I'm so-and-so in this unit at this position as a staff officer or field grade officer. And this is what's going on. So you're correct in this way. So that being said, shit, I forgot what my point was about Nicky, about them going after Nicky. It was going to be a specific point that I said it and then I went on my tirade.
That they're not doing a specific thing. I think they're just making an example out of him.
Absolutely.
Because and it's literally just because he's enlisted. Like, that's just the hard facts. It was an officer. They don't care, and it's, for me personally, I hate it. I hate that there's so many military officer influencers that seem to have no real regulation or control of the fact that all make a living off their uniform. When the officers are supposed to be the representation of the military at its like highest level. They're supposed to be like the thing that shows how military life could be. Commanders, control, high level respect, all those different things. And instead, they're just doing TikToks or like stealing content. It makes me insane. And I don't know. I know Nikki will come out the other side. It's literally just because he's enlisted, and that's just it. Like they like waited, they found a moment, and they struck in on him.
I'm waiting to get more information, and I'm gonna fucking. I'm telling you right now. All I'm doing, I'm just waiting right now. I've got enough. I'm waiting for more. I'm not gonna blow the cover of the person that's helping me. People, it's actually a couple, but one's in it. One's fucking in it.
That's what you should take away from this Navy. Everyone's trying to help Nikki.
Crazy, isn't it?
That should be like, oh, maybe we're wrong. Maybe this wasn't what we were supposed to do. Everyone's going to help him. Like, look into that. I don't know. It's just whatever. I want people to do whatever they can. I want people to grow. I want people to have every opportunity available to them. That being said, if we're going to have rules, they should be enforced unilaterally across every rank, structure, and everything else. But it just seems to be that a certain select few are just found, oh, that's okay.
So
that's fine.
This is what I was going to say, is one of the things that I know that he's being looked at for is that there's a stipulation in the Navy for active component. And I'm sure it's for all active component, whether regardless of branch. But I know it's a Navy one where you have to, if you're getting additional employment, request permission for additional employment, which makes sense, right? You have to make sure that, hey, your number one job is being a sailor. You can't have a second job where you're working midnights and then you come in to work as a sailor and then you're crap, right? So I understand why it's there. But one of the things that they're looking at him for is that he didn't claim social media as like a secondary job, which is like, okay. That's kind of a stretch. Like if the guy's doing it on his side as a hobby and happen to get money for it, like what? Everybody with an Etsy account we're going to look at? What's your standard there? That's what I want to know. What
qualifies as a job?
What specifically qualifies as a job? And who else fits that category that hasn't put in for it? Or who has put in for it? What's that?
Is it being applied universally?
Oh, and it's not. It's fucking not. It's a rule that's being used as a cudgel. Because
literally they looked and they found a thing.
Because here we have this naval officer female who's obviously got a second job. She's got a fucking trademark at the top of her thing. # do both trademark.
Kind of reminds me of
got a podcast. What's her link tree say? Open link, a new tab. She got a link tree. Where's the link tree go? What's LTK?
That's a selling website. That's affiliate codes. That's literally people making money off of the military uniform.
LTK, sober. Oh, so it looks like give you permission to be yourself. Do both. Speaker, model, podcast host.
Yeah,
Chicago.
It's a top-tier creator community of brands and shoppers. Like you shop.
Outfits. My products. Okay, so she's selling products that she either wears or uses there. Once again, I got no problem with people doing this shit. I'm just saying there's rules. We need to apply them equally to everybody.
Yeah.
So she's obviously making money off of being a social media person. Once again, totally fine. Did she fill out her fucking form? Oh, I better hope she did. I hope she did, because she could be found liable just like Nikki. Oh, jeez. And what if she didn't? What if she didn't? Does that mean she's going to be treated just like Nikki? Does that mean?
I'm sure.
Does that mean that she's going to have to take down every single one of her Instagram posts? Just like Nikki had to take down every single one of his YouTube posts during the investigation, just to make sure that you're playing by the rules.
That is the weird part. They basically deleted him, and they're like, you have to take all this stuff down. When there's just a mountain of people that are doing the same thing he's doing without any repercussions.
I think I'm going to have to do I might have to just do a live stream on the actual channel just so I can get this out to more people. Because I think one way to make sure that Nikki isn't screwed over is just to literally put out on a bullhorn to the Navy to let them know, hey, guess what? not only do I find what you're doing reprehensible, there are people within your command that don't like what you're doing to one of these freaking sailors. And they're telling me that this investigation is fucking horseshit.
Mm-hmm.
So you better pull your heads out of your fucking asses real quick. Because there are bigger issues than a kid reading news articles and the comments underneath them.
Yeah.
There are bigger issues in the Navy than that. No offense to Kelly Sprokey. Sorry that you got drug into this. I'm sure that you've already had a rough time with people shitting on you for whatever you're doing. I don't know if it's deserved or not. I'm just using you as an example for people that do the job on the internet, do the job in the military, and the differences between enlisted and officer. You just happen to be successful enough that you're on the channel. Congratulations. You made it.
You made it.
I didn't. If she fucking cries and says I used her in a negative light and this is all part of hate, then I'm going to be upset because I've done nothing but be absolutely clear and nice and say I'm cool with what you're doing as long as it's to this, as long as you're held to the same standard as Nikki.
It does. All we're saying is it doesn't seem to be that everyone's having the same rules applied to them.
Yeah.
Because if they are in the military, the rules are supposed to be universal regardless of rank or job. So
I will say that if she does get upset with me, it will not be the first person in the Navy that I've like poked fun at or brought up as a reference to automatically get insulted and be very upset with me.
I don't we're not being insulting. We're just highlighting something.
Oh, dude, I wasn't being, I mean, maybe I was being a little insulting. I was being more tongue in cheek. But that one Navy chief, the one female Navy chief that had the bedazzled jacket.
They had the what?
The bedazzled jacket. She had a jacket that she like took her name tape off and the rank on it and made a jean jacket with her name tapes and rank.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
Made a video on it. I poked fun at her a little bit. And because
these things happen.
Because it's cringy. And then she got very upset on Facebook and was like, block him. He's bullying. This isn't what the military's about. And I'm like, you're a fucking chief, man. Strong as the anchor, flexible like the chain. Isn't that the fucking chief's motto? Like, I'm razzing you over a funny looking jacket and how it's a little cringy. Like, fucking grow up.
Grow up and be nice and let Nikki back. Let him back. Bring back Nikki. Hashtag bring back Nikki.
Hashtag bring
Rich,
back Nikki.
It's late. The sun's getting real low.
I'm getting sleepy. Just like the Hulk.
Sun's getting real low, big guy.
Oh.
I want to thank you so much for having me on Angry Streams. I regret to inform you, I've got to get these girls to bed.
All right, get them to bed. We'll end it here. I think we talked enough about shenanigans. And we're ending perfectly because we've got 420 views. Everybody, go follow Veteran with the Sign. He's on Instagram. He's got a YouTube channel where he talks about veteran and military issues and interesting things about people that got out and what they're doing now. It's not boring. It's fun and entertaining. It's not one of those veteran podcasts. You're like, hey, man, you know, there's a code we live by every single day, and it's about waking up and, 4 a.m. Listen, first thing you do is you got to make your bed. It's not one of those boring fucking things. It's real life dudes, all right?
Yeah.
Fucking talking about the shit that goes on in the world and then how we make it through. So
you were on it, and I thank you so much. That's high praise. I really go out of my way to avoid people that are selling leadership classes, and which is not a negative. I'm not trying to be rude. I know people that do it. There are people I respect that do it. I actually love everything the Echelon Front team does and everything they do. I actually have seen their curriculum. It's good. People benefited from it. That being said, there are a lot of people grifting left and right, and I'm not going to tell another story about buds. You can hold your breath for a long time. No one really cares. No one really cares. I just want people to talk about stuff in a different way, and so I've had you on there. I've had a lot of people on there, and we're continuing to grow, and I appreciate the support.
What's the streaming channel, or what's the podcast channel called?
It's on the YouTube. It's on Veteran with the Sign YouTube. It's
After
Action Podcast. Yeah.
Okay, the After Action Podcast is on your YouTube channel at Veteran with a Sign.
Yeah, it's a whole playlist, and it's there. After Action Podcast on YouTube, Spotify, and Apple, wherever you get them. Because instead of making like multiple channels, I'm just making it like one big universe. So,
cool beans. All right. That's it, weirdos. Like, share, subscribe, all that other jazz. Carry on.
Later.